There we go.
Okay, we're live, right? Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Andrei. Hello, Jörg.
Hello.
First,
Hi, Nick.
yeah, long time no see, and yeah, relatively, we had bigger breaks in the past, right? So I wanted to raise the question. We already discussed it before. Before I pressed live button, go live on YouTube button, and we had a synchronous discussion for some time. So the idea is many people heard that since starting December 26, 27, like the big wave started on Twitter first, actually, that on X, that people started realizing that AI coding is coding quite well, sometimes better than some humans, not always still, but quite acceptable. And if approached in good with good methodologies, it's very usable, right? And for example, it was admitted that Cloud Code is written fully by Cloud Code for more than 1 month. Yeah, I'm pretty sure seeing how these guys ship new releases, Cursor is also like that, right? But what about Postgres? That's harder, right? Because it's more like uh, the the cost of mistake is higher and so on. Yeah. So what do you think? I wanted just to start thinking like and raising this discussion. What's the future of using AI when developing Postgres? Right. What do you think? Let
Um,
me. Yeah.
Let me start. Uh, like writing a code is actually like a nice part of a job. You have to think what you do first, and like vibe coding is focused around coding. It's like taking fun part for me, but the real job is to think, and maybe we can reframe it like vibe designing or vibe specifying, how Kirk said. Maybe Kirk can elaborate on how we do specification, how we decide what to do.
Yeah, so there's a couple things in that. So obviously, before anybody does any hacking, they really think about the problem they're trying to solve and then try to work through and understand. The first layer of using the AIs is just prompting them to explain how something works using the code. And that can get your juices flowing. They've seen us do that with some things in the past, the B trees and stuff like that. But one of the things that I'm training a junior programmer with is letting them read how I write prompts because I treat prompts differently. I treat the prompt to the AI when I want it to code as a specification stock. And so for decades, I've worked with remote developers and I type them a very thorough email and I send that as their specification doc. And I come back the next day and I look and they got the coding done. And that works if you give them enough room to make the
Yeah.
decisions and you focus them enough where you don't want them choosing. Like I'm very specific about some things. I want this to be a numeric field, not a float
Yeah.
field, right? Because what's the problem with a float field? Well, that IP thing where they can convert an IP to a number, yeah, that only works for IPv4. Why? You try IPv6 and it needs to be a numeric, not a float. It's too big of a number to fit. So now Postgres is eventually going to have to fix that. But there's no function to convert an IPv6 into a float. And if you try, it fails. Again, it's because the specification wasn't specified properly
Yeah.
back then, but they didn't see IPv6 back then. It happens. But if you treat that, it's people call it prompting all the time. If I start thinking of it in terms of a specification document, it encourages me to add the additional details I would actually be giving to a developer anyways. Anyway, so that's what you kind of
Yeah,
asked
so
me.
you're talking about let's not just not like so you're talking about bringing your experience of working with humans to AI, right? That
Yeah,
makes sense. And also, if specification sometimes is hard to define initially fully. So there are two techniques which everyone knows, but and I knew them for a long time, but recently I revisited them and two techniques to prompt, and they are both super basic, everyone knows, but still maybe underestimates. One is when you say you are this role, right? You are, for example, expert in, security in Postgres and security and so on. This sometimes makes a result better than just asking right away. And second thing, ask me like, let's create spec.md, for example, specification, and this is what I think, but maybe I'm forgot something, right? And think and ask me one by one questions so we improve specification before we start implementing. I actually I did it in the past many times, but somehow like and now I do it all the time when I develop something bigger, when some trivial change, and it works.
Oh,
Yeah.
but now you just introduced a secondary concept, is that the AIs, as we're working with them, can have different roles. So
Yes.
what you just mentioned was, hey, think of yourself as a security expert and look at it this way. But that means you could also say, hey, your job is you're responsible for testing the code that we're having another guy write.
We focus
And
on security, for example, just
right,
security.
just focus on security. But then you could have another role saying, hey, this is a change we're doing and we're posting it to Postgres. Your job is to make sure we've modified the documentation. We didn't miss any
Yeah,
documentation
exactly.
changes. Right?
Exactly. Yes. This is actually behind the scene. I have some project. I will present it later. But this is exactly in Cloud Code. The key for me right now is how you review your own work before pushing and presenting to others. And internally in Postgres AI team, we already have something developed a couple of weeks ago when this wave started, which we feel right now on social media, where people admit things changed finally. And it creates, so we call it ref, like a reviewer. And internally, you just ask to review your own work, and internally it uses 5 sub-agents in parallel, and they all have different roles and goals, and context is not spammed by other topics. So one is just takes care about documentation and knows how to do it properly, and we tune things, right? So I already drafted a project called PGRef, so I will present it a little bit later. Also, it will be running multiple sub-agents to review the patch before we present it. And I think it's super powerful not only to use AI to do something, but also review. Maybe you wrote half of that code, but it still makes sense. It makes sense to review before you present to others. So, yeah. Anyway, Andrei, what do you think about like fast forward a couple of months? You're using Cursor, right?
Yeah, mostly.
All the time, right? But you review every line, of course, right?
I review every line, but I also review a lot with Cursor. So, as I
Other
said,
people work.
coding is a nice part. That's why I'm doing coding by hand still. And I'd say that I'm doing approximately same amount of coding as I do in Cursor. But the work is actually reviewing, and the work is housekeeping. The work is like deciding that someone needs improvement that is not like a big feature. Actually, I just wanted to, like, we were talking about committability of patches, and if we look at the release, typically Postgres yearly release, annual release is like several thousand commits, and 200 taken from commit fest, and all other stuff is
90%.
mostly, yes, it's just housekeeping. The most of the work that we, as a patch authors, as someone who brings features, we just don't see it. Like,
Yeah.
but there is
I
always
noticed it
stream of
also.
refactoring and polishing and fixing some
Tests.
failures and reporting problems, trying again and again and finding edge cases. And that's most of the work. And probably we as on our vibe hacking sessions, we focus on doing
New
fun
stuff.
part of open
Yeah.
source. Yeah, new features or fixing known bugs. But if we try to approach the other parts that we don't see of the open source, there are maintainers, committers who are responsible for keeping code clean and like understandable, so we can hack on it. Maybe there is a big room for work, but I don't know how to start it because you
I
have to
know.
have an opinion on a code. Like
Yeah.
I think that we can improve it in this way, not for bringing some value to user, but for keeping a project's future. And another thing that I want to note about current state of AI that is reviewing our code, it is actually AI is designed to satisfy us, to uh to get
Yes.
to get high
But
score. So
yes.
when I'm setting at my patch, it says, "How wonderful!
That's
That's
why you need to
super
say
cool."
your role is to be very strict with security. You like got so many bugs already. Like check this patch. It
I
will be very
like
different
I like
result.
the idea that like for like negative feedback is much more valuable. Almost all positive feedback that it gives to me, I just
Yeah.
ignore.
It's just a matter of
Uh,
proper prompting.
Can I
That's it.
replace negative feedback with critical feedback? Just in that sentence, right? Because it's not that
yeah,
you want feedback that's negative. You really want to avoid just the supportive sounding feedback because that
hmm
creates an echo chamber. It's false. It doesn't really help. But when feedback can be critical, okay, and
yeah,
actually point out issues or potential issues, that's where real value is. Because it's either going to make you rethink it and either change your mind or confirm that you're
yeah.
right.
So I don't need motivation from AI. I have already my motivation. I want a vector for improvement. I want to make my system better. And I only can define what is better. Maybe
Right.
maybe I
Well,
don't need to do it and the AI can do it on its own.
You you just blew my mind with the previous topic though of saying that something like 90 some percent of the commits are not related to the 200 new features. They're related to housekeeping and cleanup. And to me there's first off, that's awesome. Second, boy, can't we run the AI against those type of commits and have it analyze the types of cleanups that are done and have it help to suggest
I can
where
do it
else
right
those
now. It will
types of
take a few
yeah
minutes for previous
yeah
release, right?
yeah
There are
yeah so
thousands of commits and million lines of code. I
that's okay
doubt
because it can
computers
That's
are
okay.
fast. They are not that fast.
but we're going to talk for a few minutes while Andre does that.
Let's
So,
let's try.
but the key thing is look at this way. If we were able to work on that and use that to give something back to the community, we then free up some of those resources that are doing 100% of that work. And if we can replace 30 or 40% of that work and keep the code clean, plus what I love about this is this can then spread to other people supporting other repositories besides Postgres because every open source project has this problem that's being worked on, right? So then you enable, and this is wow, this become for me, this is a great way to give back to the community. Okay, it should also give us, once we free up some of that time, it should free up some more committer time to look at our other up, now we can get 210 features in and those 10 can be ours. Now we have a 5% improvement on Postgres every year. 5% we can push through the changes we want. Like because we freed up 20, 30% of some other people's times maybe by leveraging the technology.
So I'm
Wow. Sorry,
uh,
go ahead, Nick.
yeah, I just asked to take Postgres code and commits and research history for Postgres 18 and analyze all commits. So we expect like 2,000 commits and 200 features very roughly, right?
Right. And
And
then
and
I
I
see if it can categorize those, right? If it
yeah,
understands the type.
categorize, understand which were not directly related to
I think if
features.
it just
Ty-
reads commit messages, it's
yeah,
already
it can do it. Yeah, and
huge amount of.
and just to ask, I asked to analyze types of commits, categorize somehow, and see if some part of that keeping cleaning work could be automated with AI, at least some of it, right? So this is what we will have in a few minutes.
Now the cynical person in me like can picture this becoming a Dilbert type cartoon where the version every odd number version it undoes the house cleaning from the even number versions and then it redoes the house. So it's the same 40% of work being done and undone for housekeeping reasons. We've got to avoid that too.
Yeah, I don't see that except from commits. I'm not close to that part of work. Like other people do it, committers, right? Only few people who do this huge work,
And
right?
by doing this work, they are keeping their context in
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. It's a lot of things to do. So I'm just trying to say probably they also enjoy it. I'm not sure. But
I'm
what
going
I
to salute Tom Lane because the number
yeah.
of times he's worked on our stuff and then added additional housekeeping because he went in and looked at something that was related to something. I mean, he's got to be one of the heaviest posters on some of the housekeeping. But it's because I think that his context, once he gets back into it, he goes, oh, yeah, like 20 years ago, I wanted to fix this too. So I got around to it now. Anyways.
So the prompt could be, what would Tom Lane say, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Before we do like and just to polish it and so on. Okay.
Well,
so my idea is
the most frequent phrase, not a phrase, but the reason why Tom rejects patches is like it's not future proof. So he's doing about future housekeeping.
yeah. So this could be probably improved to improve the quality of patches being sent. So he could agree more often, right? Maybe.
Hold it. That's a great question to log. How future proof is this change? As one of the things to have one of the AI subagents checking. Like, please try to, part of your thing is security and identifying future proofness of the patch.
Future proofness is actually like double-sided thing. Like it makes Postgres stable, but it makes Postgres slowly develop it actually. So we are just so obsessed with future proofness. That's why we don't innovate fast enough. We could accept more features if we bother it less. We never delete functions from Postgres. They are always there. Anything that's committed is always there.
Well,
And
there are renamings which are happening. For example, PG start backup, PG backup start.
yeah, but you know most of these cases. It's very, very, very difficult job to remove something, even if it's incorrect. And if no one should use it, but some clever hacker might find a way to use it for something good, and we don't want to break it anyway.
Yeah, so where I'm sure if more people realize that with AI they can review other people patches and get shipped more than 200 features, maybe this is definitely because we see from if every commit fest a lot of good features are like lack attention. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple people who've reached out to me, and I'll mention like Lawrence Albee, from Cybertech, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, Kirk, can you review this patch of mine? If you remember, I reviewed one of yours, a while back, and it's just like perfect. Jump in and get that review done."
Funny story from yesterday. Lawrence published on Cybertech blog. He published a blog post about how to quickly diagnose which sequence is already approaching integer 4 limit. And I just recognized, and there are several such queries, but I recognized we had query which actually was not pure SQL for ages, like since 2017-18, when we started helping other companies to deal with this problem in bigger clusters. So our version was anonymous PLSQL do block, which is not convenient at all to deal with because basically you need to extract data from raise log or raise notice, raise info, something like this, right? It's not convenient. His version was pure SQL, like normal, like you can embed it everywhere and like great. So I just asked AI to replace with his version with credits, like in 10 minutes it's done. So it's so good to rely on great minds and just, this is open source, right? So it's great. I mean, we did it in our monitoring and checkup tooling. So I'm saying, like, before when next commit fest deadline approaches, maybe I could help to review more patches, right?
Yeah, and maybe
supervision.
and maybe we can, well, here's the deal. Let's leave behind one. Let's make one of these episodes about how you actually go into the commit fest, grab one, and tell the AI to download it, right? Process it, run it through, and then add the things onto it. Because let's try to get this as a way that, boy, wouldn't it be nice if they mentioned it in the Wikipedia, in their wiki, about, hey, if you want to review, here's a good starting process.
Step-by-step instructions for less experienced people, but obviously there is a risk to get more messages and patches and even reviews which are not thoroughly thought through.
Right.
Thoroughly thought through. Right.
There is besides review, there is one more like job that was a job when human could do it actually. When the Commit Fest was smaller, as a Commit Fest manager, and the role was like to read thread and make some like status message like today we are waiting on that guy to figure out how to work around this problem.
Yeah.
And this actually helps to reject patches because obviously most of them will not be committed. But someone have to do it. And because it's not critical, it's negative. You have to reject the work. It's already written there in a thread, but you have to make a bottom line there. No one actually wants to do it. When I was Commit Fest manager, I did it for maybe 10 or 15 threads instead of 400 that I actually had to. And summarizing a thread is a great job, but we can like make it checkable with the hacker's eyes. But just summarizing of all threads is super valuable.
It's actually not easy to summarize thread. If you just copy paste thread to ChatGPT or Claude, it will say out of context limit sometimes, and Gemini does better work here. Or you need to do it step by step with compactization because some threads are enormous in size.
Are you talking the commit threads? Let's make sure I understand, because there's hacker threads, and then there's kind of the committer threads, where there's just the threads of the people that were committing in the commit fest notes.
No. Hackers
I think you
discussion
guys are
for
talking
some
the
patch
hacker
being
discussion.
developed. Yeah, some patch developed for ages, like a couple of years, huge thread, like hundreds of messages, and I do it, like I encounter it quite often. It's not easy to summarize it properly. There should be some tool which makes it in proper way, not to lose all important details and so on.
Could we train a sub agent?
We can do it. I mean, we need to define like how you would do it manually to understand step by step.
Yeah.
How you define like some important points, like pivotal points, patch versions, and these things, right? Design decision changes discussed. So I think it's doable. It's possible. I think it should be actually part of my PGRef tool, which I'm working on. We have a question in chat actually, and probably then we should do something, right? And instead of just chatting. So the question is from Nikal1155. Hi seniors, I have started my career as a software dev intern at a Postgres B2B service provider company. How can I master Postgres? Your guidance is really appreciable. Appreciated. Okay. So what can we do? I think reviewing is the first step anyway, right? Maybe. Just
I think first step is using Postgres for something. So if like to review something, you need some experience with the database. And if you never tried to use it for solving your problems, it's hard to understand what are these folks doing with this computer program, why it is important at all. So you may accept external validation, like someone told you that Postgres is a big project and used by a lot of engineers. And if you, with this mindset, try to review something, you are starting to find problems that are not problems. And at that point, reviewer is a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Overhead.
saying
Yeah.
a bit harsh, but you have to be Postgres user at least for some extent. Just try to create a website, create a toy project or something like that that is using Postgres and see what's not there, what's not enough to you.
Right. Right. So, Kirk, what's your opinion on this?
I 100% agree. You always start when I go to learn anything. If I want to learn a new language, I create a project that I have to do that's relatively complicated, right? To learn Python, I parsed all of the SQL generated from pgdump, and I created a directory tree of all of the procedures that matched our Oracle dump, so that I could actually compare how the procedures look, what schema they're in, and that we weren't missing indexes or foreign keys and stuff like that. So forcing myself to do something that I kind of needed and forcing myself to use a language that I was new to was a really good way to get started. And it doesn't matter what the project is. The project should mean something to you. It should have a definition of right and wrong. In a database world, there's tons of database, things, constructs that you should be able to do and pull data in. I like training classes that give you data to play with, and then fixing queries and learning how things work. Yeah, get your hands wet first, then come in. If you don't know how to use the tool, it's really hard to make good comments on how that tool should work. So
Yeah. So being a user is important, right? So
yeah,
yeah.
I think that
or
you start.
working with some users who have problem, right? Also.
This is a recommendation I've made as I've mentored people: is donate your time helping someone else do something who needs to use the tool, right? Sell yourself as, listen, I'll work for free, okay, whatever. I want to learn this skill. Looks like you could use some help here. I'll spend time doing this. I'll treat your data as though, right, I don't want to destroy it. Maybe I do a copy, whatever, and go do that. I find that if I'm helping somebody else, it's an automatic plus for me. And then secondarily, it encourages me to learn it even better. If I'm learning it for myself, I learn it at one level. If I'm learning it to explain it to somebody else or to really help someone else, I find I personally learn it even deeper then, because I don't want to look like an idiot when I'm explaining it. Where I'm willing to be an idiot if I'm doing a problem for myself a little bit.
Good. So I hope we answered that question. And we had also, like, should we discuss the ideas for Google Summer of Code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, there were so many things that actually got implemented from that.
Yeah, let me just explain what we did before the call and show this page. And then what do you think?
I want to say that like Google Summer of Code is a program for students when they can pick a project proposed by a community and start hacking, and Google pays some monies for that. Not so big, but like monies. And for us, it's not just a stream of features. For us, it's a stream of hackers, of new community members. Nick, you was a student at Google Summer of Code, right?
Right, 2006.
It was long ago.
And so it's a great opportunity to work with some core people and some experienced hackers as well. And my mentor was Peter Eisentraut. I still remember well. Actually, I wanted to say you mentioned earlier that writing code is fun part. Honestly, for me, it's not. Writing C code is not fun for me at all. For me, it's fun to think about problems we solve and design decisions, interfaces in terms of CLI, some functions, like these things, like how users and how it will be used in code later. These things are much more interesting. Inside, not so fun. Actually, some algorithms is great. It's great, but writing C code I'm not a big fan of. And I remember it was painful actually in 2006 to write C code. If I had AI, it would be so much better. So those students who consider participating in GSOC,
OC.
Google Summer of Code, they have great opportunities, right? So great tooling. And what we did, there are many wiki pages for each year starting 2008. So my year was not there. Starting 2008, we analyzed between 2008 to 2021. We analyzed all wiki pages related to Google Summer of Code in Postgres project. Actually, it has also adjacent projects like WalG, I noticed, but we focused only on core. And I just asked Claude Code to analyze all of them and look also at current code state and understand what's implemented and what's not yet, but still relevant, right? So this is how we learned. For example, this Postgres 18 feature, old and new in returning, which is great feature. It's actually from Google Summer of Code. I didn't know. This is great.
It was proposed for Google Summer of Code students, but it was not implemented by students. It was implemented by regular hackers.
Okay. This okay. I should probably be specific to point this. But anyway, while logging for hash indexes, same. Do you remember? Yeah. Or it was actual GSOC project.
I do not remember.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Probably I was not mentor in 2015 because my first patch was committed in 2016. So
First patch, you mean as part of Google Summer of Code?
No, as a Postgres hacker.
First your patch.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's 2015 probably. I was not active on
10 plus years. Yeah, but you mentioned before our recording, before our stream, that many ideas are still relevant from the past. So that's why we are revisiting the old ideas, right?
Yeah.
So, and this list is what's done. This is done just for inspiration, maybe.
And actually, for example, third idea from done list, it was done by, if I'm not wrong, I might be wrong here, but as far as I remember, it was done by Anastasia Lubenikova, who became major contributor later.
Because of that?
Sigayev was mentor.
Okay.
But
it was commit.
Yes, she started to contribute to Postgres then.
After that.
And then became a major contributor.
Yeah. Also,
and
B3 work.
B3 duplication, which is very important feature.
Okay, page level, predicate locking, parallel gen, index build.
I was mentor for Force predicate level. Yes, I was mentor for these projects, and they finally recommended.
Student mentioned here.
Shubham. I know that Shubham later started to work for Samsung or some companies that is doing storing data, but not with Postgres. So he kind of started with databases and then switched it at some.
Actually, it's career booster, right? So to contribute to major project like this, and it's paid job, so it's a great opportunity for young minds. Yeah. But there is a requirement, right? You need to be a student, actual student. You need to prove you're a student.
Currently, they don't call students; they call contributors. And you need to be a student to earn stipends, to earn money from Google.
In my time 20 years ago, I need to prove I was a PhD student at that time, so I need to prove it to get paid.
Yeah, you still need proof of enrollment.
So how much? What type of money are we talking? Is this hundreds or a
In,
thousand or
it was 5,020 years ago. It was significant for me.
Yes,
Very
something like
nice,
significant.
that.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So
That would be a good thing to see if,
the,
for the people who are non-students, if
yeah,
if we could find some bounty people to pay some bounties for some of these, that gives you a price target, and then
right.
maybe we find other
The,
people.
the only thing it led to my startup crisis because business guys they thought I'm going to go to work at Google, which was wrong. So they
Ah,
said this is HR program, but this is their stupidity. Just
yeah. No,
yeah. It's I was saying actually it's my actual PhD work. Like relational plus XML and so on. This is what I'm doing actually, and somebody is paying for it. It's perfect. But yeah, we couldn't find agreement, so my company was sold to a company Andrei knows very well. Anyway, so it was fun time. But just a
so
warning, you need to understand your current work situation if you do this as well. Parallel gene index build, bitregist, sort support.
And
Yeah.
you see, it's 18. It's a recent project,
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
it was tried a lot of times on
But it
Google
was
Summer of
implemented.
Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, bitregist sort support was implemented by
I should
I,
ask
re
to
I
to
reviewed it
show
much.
who implemented, right? I should ask for it. Yeah, next
Bernd
time.
Bernd implemented, the guy from Cybertech
Mm-hmm.
implemented
But no,
bitregist
it's
sort
not
support.
not student then, right? Or
No, he's not a
yeah,
student. He's
yeah.
a long-time hacker.
Constant exclusion and check constraints. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we skip locked was what? This is I cannot believe.
That's interesting because you see that there are a lot of SQL extensions which would be very hard to commit now. And
Mm-hmm.
back then, 10 years ago, student could change our SQL. Now we have to deal with standards and committees and working
No,
group
it's not so.
RFCs.
No. I can admit, like that 20 years ago, XML, we also needed to think how to be as close to standard as possible. If there is something in this area in standard, there is 20 years ago it was always already so. Postgres wants to be as close as possible. And in my case, it was whole section SQL XML part 13, as I remember, or something,
So
which
skip
define.
locked is it's not standard.
Yes, but if there is no such feature in standard, it's okay to invent something. But if there is something, right? For example, big example is merge, right?
yeah.
On conflict. Well, it's actually a different story. But anyway, if there is something in standard, you will be asked to implement it as like how standard defines.
Or there's going to be. So,
Yeah.
for example, like the XML stuff, if it was going to be, it might not have been spelled out, but they knew they were working on it. They're going to want you to work in that direction. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Let's
many
look at
things
the relevant ideas.
here. Yeah, so many things here. And
It's
and
always
let's
done. So this is the
yeah, it was
interesting
done.
part.
Still relevant ideas. Returning for DDL statements. Returning what actually? Create table returning. Okay,
Something.
metadata. So you create table, you want to know OID.
Ah, that's
Okay,
interesting.
yeah. I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know.
Simulated annealing.
Yeah, it's very old actually. Okay, and then simulated annealing query optimizer. Oh,
some rocket science.
yes.
Now we don't have a lot
Very
of
old.
hackers around optimizer,
Yeah.
and if someone is going to actually go to Google Summer of Code with this topic, they have to find the optimizer
Mentor.
hacker, yeah, mentor
Yeah.
who is optimizer hacker.
Prototype from 2010. Wow. Okay. John removal based on foreign key constraints. Well, it's actually what happened to it. Like other DBMSs have it. It's actually obvious like idea, right? Interesting. Yeah, this sounds interesting actually. Could be optimization. But I guess so many like hidden walls to be hit. Okay, actually this we discussed earlier, right? Strange. Just bulk loading API.
I don't fully understand what is it because
Create proper
I,
bulk loading API for gist indexes instead of one by one insertion.
previous version of this topic was written by me. I added source support to gist indexes. I mean, it was committed by Heikki, and actually Heikki reread more than half of my code.
I
But
know how it feels.
yeah, there is still it's written like author Andrei. Okay.
It's just yeah, it's just for future, like yeah, I know. To encourage.
Yeah, that's a fair way to do it, though.
Yeah.
You add authors to it. The original idea helps. Not everyone gets it off the ground.
What
Um,
this should be done by AI. You just need
Mm,
to properly guide it. It's in my opinion. Regression test coverage improvements should be done by AI. Okay.
so
Yeah.
the idea is to find the longest string of untested code lines and write a test.
Gaps. Yeah. Find gaps and cover them. Why not?
Maybe.
It's similar to how I used the AI to find weight event gaps. More than 50% of findings were wrong, but less than 50% were very solid, and I already started this work, right? And if somebody wants to join, I have a list. And so it makes sense to do something like gap analysis. But you need to, if you just say, go and find the gaps, no, it doesn't work. Like, you need to plan it properly. Like what is methodology? And then think, do you have your own ideas to extend that methodology to make it more like richer, right? So chances will be higher for success, right? And then only let AI do the legwork, right? So this is the approach. I would like, why not? It could be done if there are gaps. So maybe there are no gaps anymore. Also,
There are
interesting
gaps,
question. Of course.
and there are gaps that will be very critical bugs,
Yeah, yeah.
and we just don't know about them.
So and also important, like we discussed it in our team as well. Like right now, there is no any excuses not to have coverage 100%, but we need to go further and not just cover like very like positive paths, but also negative paths. I know Kirk doesn't work this word, but critical paths, right? So when some edge cases happen, right, or corner cases, several problems at once, because you can have beige 100% coverage in those cases not verified, right? That's the
Um,
idea. What?
I like how you say it, 100% test coverage, and I just want to remind you, like a few months ago, we were working on merging pages in B3.
But this is
And when we
code.
had a prototype, I asked the AI to write a test that is finding, like with injection points, you can create a race condition when you miss some tuples. And I asked AI to write this test, explain it very well, what points it must place, and it couldn't. It tried a lot, and
Let me,
it was.
yes, I'm stopping screen sharing here because this is super important. Again, with Claude Opus 4.5, GPT 5.2 codex, Gemini 3.0, we should revisit these topics. This is one thing. Another thing, I showed you earlier, I had 15 hours of AI running on itself because there are criteria how to, like, of success. And then I just let many hours to try. If you define successful criteria very well, you can have infinite loop. This is what we do, and it works like magic because you are bottleneck. You like make one shot, it goes for 10 minutes, you distract it for a couple of hours, you return. Oh, actually, it's great, but wrong. Like, okay, we have a different idea. Let's try it, and then same loop happens. But if you it's called a Ralph plugin, right? When AI stops answering, basically you say verify. If it's not done yet, think how like another idea and try again. If you have exact verification criteria, you can have this loop and let it work for a couple of days, and then the results will be amazing. I'm pretty sure.
In
Well,
a couple of
and it's
days,
the
I can write it myself.
Well, it's
Ralph
different.
Wiggum. Ralph Wiggum was the plugin, right? The Ralph Wiggum
Yeah.
plugin. And something else, let me mention this. When I was talking about years and decades of writing specifications, let me add something. I was writing them to programmers overseas in Russia, where there's a time shift in between when they get it, when I write it and they get it. So I would lose one day if I caused
I know
the
this
thing.
feeling.
So that was that bottleneck. And so by eliminating that with experience, so I was never the bottleneck. They could answer their own questions, right? Based on me adding some extra details. This, you just pointed it out. That's the kind of stuff you have to be prepared for to help remove yourself from a bottleneck. And you can either do it by specifying it specifically or specifying how they have to complete the testing, what the definition, the testable definition of success is. And then it can work towards that definition, right? I think the
Yeah.
Ralph Wiggum model refers to complete or completed.
Question: is this about having AI work on code and testing? This sounds like a nightmare. Why? So Andrei, yeah, if it's one test, you can write it. It's okay. And okay, but if we talk about coverage and a lot of test ideas to be found in huge code base, right?
Yeah, so it can gather low-hanging fruits. I think it would totally work. So there
Not
are
only low hanging.
edge cases that is very difficult to achieve, but there totally are cases that are easy breezy and just try this test. Just add this.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of similar patches. I remember last patch of the type that I reviewed was well some array conversion functions. There was 3 types of these arrays. 2 were tested and 1 was not. And Alexeyev just sent a patch like, let's test this too. And of course it was committed because why not? It's just test that works in every branch. Let's have it.
So yeah, yeah. Well, again, like models are better, tooling is better. This infinite loop works great. In my experience, I had very good cases when it achieved result. So, but sometimes there are mistakes, of course. Obviously, you need to control very well.
Yeah,
So,
and
let-
that topic is exactly about housekeeping. Exactly about not making new features that will make you rich and famous or whatever, but
yes, people
help this
started.
project.
Yeah, people started also working with Git work trees. Finally, you know this, right? You can have your Git clone once, but then inside one clone of your Git repository, you can have multiple work trees. And for example, if you collect ideas what to polish, you say collect like 100 ideas. This is a couple of days for you, but each idea should be separate Git branch, right? And then it can run many parallel agents working with ideas in work trees. Git work trees. It's old feature, so you don't need to Git clone it multiple times. Yeah. So anyway, autonomous transaction. This is super old stuff. Still,
This is
yeah.
old stuff, and this is a very interesting topic because I think
Yes.
it's very difficult to commit it because
Yes.
every commercial vendor of Postgres have their implementation of autonomous transactions.
Political
And
question, right?
yes, absolutely. And if you commit someone's version, you all other companies now have a legacy code that they have to support forever.
Yeah.
That does not give them any value anymore. But they have to support because users will use their version that was bought by someone.
Yeah. So this is the list. I put the link to chat. I will put it to comment as well. And this is what we asked earlier to analyze Postgres 18. right? Because we think 90% of commits is just housekeeping, and here is the result. For Postgres 18. Wow, so many bug fixes, right? Yeah, I asked also to analyze. Yeah.
10% of new features. I was almost correct figure I gave.
Where is it? New
Right there,
features.
New
9.2.
features.
Yeah, and documentation also 10%. And if this is evaluation, how it would be like, how easy it would be use AI to help to speed up and make it easier. So yeah, bug fixes, low, medium. It's so self-esteem is good, right? for AI. Yeah, but comment improvements is high. Typo fixes is high. Well, it's obvious. Formatting and so on. Yeah,
But
and
look at
also
the low percentages of the value of the highs, right? White space and formatting, 1.4%. And by the way, while it thinks it can be good at white space and formatting, like there's a humanistic touch sometimes to white space and formatting code. Like, yeah, so I don't know if always rules.
When it comes to this topic, like for example, I would not allow AI to do this work directly. I would allow to propose improvements for tooling, which will do this work in very reliable, not probabilistic way. So there are
we
different.
have PG indents that is doing
Yeah,
this.
exactly. This is what I see.
And we have a way to protect your comment from PG indent. There are several comments that like we like how they are spaced, and we are marking it that PG indent don't touch this comment.
This actually, I think here lies huge potential because hackers write documentation and users sometimes don't understand it.
And as a new user, I can remember my frustration. So here's how I describe Postgres's documentation. Postgres has the most accurate documentation of any database system I've ever seen, designed for people who already understand how Postgres works.
Like
And
reference.
the best example is when you look up the function references, they don't give you the names of the variables, they give you the types in the prototype definition because that's what's easy to generate. So if you're doing like an in-string function and you want to know, oh, does it expect the starting position first and then the length, or the length and then the starting position, or the right? You don't know because it just tells you text int. And you're like, and then you have to go like all the level of frustration. Now, is it accurate? Yes, it's perfectly accurate because it is a text, an int, and an int, but you have no idea what order those two ints are in. And yeah, this is my favorite complaint about Postgres is that, listen, give me the actual variable names. Like, don't just give me the signatures. Go ahead.
So yeah, I think there is potential here, but it's not my kitchen. So
can we do the patch with AI, like in the documentation, in every function, add a name, look to the code and add a name? I totally understand, like substring and two integers. Which one is start? Which one is the other? What is it doing? And
yes, it is some of the least helpful documentation I've ever bumped into. And also, if it was now, I got shot down in the documentation portion of Hackers in trying to suggest that, boy, it would be nice if you guys had more examples of how to use the code. Okay. And nowadays, that's what I end up doing, using the AI for. Give me an example of using this PostgreSQL function. Like, just give me the example. So I don't have to shoot myself in the foot reading the docs.
Yeah. So yeah, we can do that. I will send for you. We actually already more than 1 hour live, so we need to think. This is the only code we will write, right? So and I'm very curious. Will it use Perl for this tool? Should be right because this is how. everything maintained right now, or it use Python or something. Let's see. What else? I will present this once done. It will take a few minutes. What else can we do today? Because it's already quite a lot of time spent. I think it was a very interesting discussion. And
Can we do you remember the patch about drop table and LSM?
yes,
Some
So-
guy, I actually know that guy posted the new version that is probably good.
yeah.
Can we
Let's.
ask
You want to review it or what?
Yeah, how about we
Yes.
pull that up and look at it? That's a great one. Good
Uh,
call, Andre.
Can you send me a link?
Just a moment, I'll find it. It's in Commit Fest.
Yeah, there's a comment. I just can't get past when it hallucinates something. Well,
Yeah.
can you write, please? This is a chat. Can you write, please, which model you use? I'm on Opus 4.5 and I pay a lot to Anthropic. Yeah. So, and actually yesterday it hallucinated like crazy, absolutely crazy. But it happened first time in this year. It was January 14, first time I bumped into some hallucination. So, which was terrible. And I shipped a couple of hundred of pull requests this year already myself. So depends on the model as well. Okay. Yeah, I see the link. Let's do this first. Let me share my screen again then. Let's do this. Read and summarize discussion, and then let's plan how we will.
I can give you a link on actual discussion. I'm not sure it will find it.
This is
So
well.
yeah.
Let's see how it will find it. I'm pretty sure.
I
This I
doubt
do.
about it. Metal Brain, it won't find the
Yeah.
proper link.
This I do on my fork on Postgres on GitHub, right? So it has access to whole code. I'm pretty sure it will find. The only problem sometimes PostgreSQL, like Wiki PostgreSQL org, produces 500 errors when you request, like maybe some protection, but maybe some bugs or overloaded or something. And it happens to me when I do it myself. Like I open
It's
something.
trying to Google proper link. That's a neat way. Actually, it can find it. With Google,
Discombobulating. I like some of these words it's putting in here. Marinating, discombobulating.
Yeah, this is Claude. Claude code. Claude code.
it
Discombobulating.
found the wrong link
Yeah.
in Google and it
Yeah.
gave it
Yeah.
500.
Okay, we can help, of course.
Let's
help.
just
Let's help.
give it a
this is
proper
it.
link. I will send it.
I found it
the whole
myself.
thread.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a link whole thread.
I always press Alt Tab when I open. This is my habit. I already don't think. I just when I open something, even it's Alt Tab, I press Alt Tab and then I read.
Yeah.
They should make it default actually.
Actually, we can do it with PGWeb. I recently tried to hack on Commit Fest on PGWeb, and it's just a Python website, and
Yeah.
AI is really good in it. It's
And
not
Python,
C
of
code.
course. Try Rust. Rust will be harder. Okay, again, web search. I don't know why, but it fetched few fetched pages. You see, it's banned. What is HTTP code 505? I forgot. 503.
It's internal server error.
Service unavailable, so it's something wrong there. That's not good. Okay. If I do this craziness, it will work because it's a small discussion. This is not huge at all. Yeah. Should work.
Marinating.
Marinating. Okay, we have some discussion. I see, Kirk, you're participating. Thank you. Yeah. Discussion and chat. Yeah, we have had chat today. Like previous sessions, a lot of
Something
activity.
with my Telegram. I don't see anything there.
I mean, on
I was
YouTube.
on YouTube. It's the
Yeah.
comments on YouTube. So yeah, I looked in Telegram first. And
Oh
then I
yeah,
jumped
just
over to
as a
YouTube.
reminder for those who are participating right now, for like maybe first time or so, we have a Telegram group, and I'm going to share it in chat. This is for longer term discussions and asynchronously. And I also will put it to comments for those who watch this in recording. So yeah, this is the link. It's in chat right now. Already 60 plus members, 63, right? 61, 61.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So it analyzed the discussion.
Mhm.
It's going to download version 5 from you, Andrei, from December 10th.
Maybe I tried to review it, but December was very busy.
Yeah. You mean why so long, right? Okay. And then it will apply it and check. I have few day lagging fork, but it's okay, I think, for this. Or you want me to update my fork first?
Yeah. How long ago did the
Ah,
person post their changes? Because he's about 5 days behind.
Okay, while it's updating, let's read. Phase 2 functional testing. Test log object drops on and off. Verify correct committal SN is logged on the table. Test rollback case. Confirm no log message if rollback happened, right? Save point rollback to subtransactions. I love them.
But and
Yeah.
I have a question. Why do we
Oops.
care if the rollback doesn't removes there's no log message on rollback?
I also
we
thought
care
this
that we
question.
don't want a message on rollback. Because if you print some LSN, this LSN taken from nowhere.
Oh,
Rollback
so
doesn't
the
have its
LSN
clear
doesn't
message.
exist then
Mhm.
on rollback. Ah, got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. So the idea we didn't describe idea because Kirk, you're muted, I think, or microphone issues. Yes, I see you saying something. So
Go
the
ahead.
idea was when somebody drops a table and we want to recover this partial data loss. I call it partial disaster recovery. So we want to recover. We need to perform point-in-time recovery, but we don't know to which point. Well, you can play with timestamps, but it's not precise. Ideally, we should know exact LSN right to restore to recover to the moment right before drop table occurred. And this is the idea of this patch. On drop table, it's logged in logs. Drop table happened at this moment, so it's easier to recover. And actually, it's easier to build some tools that would automate recovery for such cases. Yeah, I already have a.
Yeah, from my perspective, I'm half shocked that this doesn't already exist.
Oh,
And a
remember
product with
transaction
version
timeout.
18.
Remember transaction timeout. I spent several years thinking maybe my understanding of Postgres is wrong and this transaction timeout is not needed. Then after 10 plus customers which really needed, implemented it on application side, I told Andrei, finally we have it. And now I'm not
It doesn't
surprised
surprise
anymore.
you.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
surprises you.
nothing surprises me. If nobody thought before, or maybe thought but couldn't implement somehow, still worth considering.
And correct me if I'm wrong, part of the reason we started down this path was that Andre got a call at work. Someone dropped the table
Yeah,
and he
Yeah.
had to figure out the nearest
this is
transaction
a real life
so that
story.
he could find it. So it started real life story, real life support, okay,
Yep.
Right,
happening.
right.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't there. And a
And
simple log message would fix it.
imagine if you have branching and copy on write, and you can point in time recovery much faster. It can be
You
new and
still
can
need
be
the LSN.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it can be so good feature to recover table much faster because LSN is known, right? So this is great core feature could be.
Can I
Okay.
admit that I turn on the feature that links commit timestamps? So the commit, so I can look up based on a commit and the X-Men, I can actually look up the timestamp that correlated to that. And I turn that on for two reasons. One is I can look at modified procedures and which transaction based on the date and time. So I can find something that was modified in the last 24 hours very easily.
And this is a setting, right?
Yeah,
Is it
it's a
just
GUC.
It's a GUC. You don't need to recompile. Great. And but have you measured? Have you benchmarked the overhead?
I didn't have to, because you know what?
Yeah.
I turned it on from the beginning and everything we have is running beautifully.
Yeah. Well, if it's even 20% overhead, you already live with this. And
I wouldn't
I
know,
understand
right,
that.
right.
But I'm curious. It's quite easy to benchmark, actually. We could do it maybe on one session. I love benchmarks like this. Like
It's probably worth benchmarking. I can't imagine it's that expensive. So, but
Andrea's bored and it's quite late. Let's move on.
okay.
Yeah. So automated tests, documentation findings. Okay. Okay. Yes. I should say yes while we are chatting. Okay. So we have already something pushed and we have big plan. Meanwhile, parameter names, right? Why is this saying something? Okay. This. Okay. It chose Python. Fix func name. Okay.
Not id string, substring.
Substring?
Substring is another, substring.
Mhm.
I don't understand.
Space substr. It's a substring function. It takes a string from within a string. I put it in the Telegram.
Substr?
Yes, substr. Yeah.
Okay. You want to check this, right?
Yeah, I wanted to show you the before and after.
Okay, I'm personally interested in this, but this is simple function, right? Okay, anyway. Oh, functions like
There are
you
a
know,
lot of parameters to backup start.
yeah, there are. This is broken in many places. Functions, for example, like aggregating, like string AGG, right? String aggregation,
Right, string
where you
add.
always think object and glue. What comes first, right? And it will work in both ways. If you make a mistake, it will work, and you just use your values as glue to join like
Right.
white spaces, and it works. And you think why you lost one value, and it's crazy. So yeah, okay. And meanwhile, this is how my normal, like I usually do 4 or 5 things in parallel. It doesn't help to my ADHD. Okay, there is conflict, the issue. Okay, it's not building yet. Okay, back to this. How to use tool? Where is what? It lost my message or what? Like this is maybe just. You know what? I will. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's go to GitHub Postgres. And okay, this is how before and after. Yeah.
There you go. You see
Yeah. It's good addition, right?
It's not that important when you have one parameter.
Yes.
If you have two parameters of the same type, you don't know which one's first.
Where is substr?
So it says that substr had the proper docs.
It says this already, right?
Let
Yes.
me go look. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, we can easily check. Okay, current. Oh yes. Yes. Okay. I'm checking the wrong function, but this function. Yeah, this page is good. Huh. So it was right.
Oh, look at that. They also support the from and for.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah,
you don't
it's
have to use that. But yeah, so this is that's interesting that this one has it on there. I ran into enough that didn't. Some of the, I don't know if it was the JSON stuff or whatever, but it was just kind of annoying.
yeah. For example, well, it's do we have two plus param functions?
Two parameters of the same type. That's what's important.
Well, yeah, it says. Yeah, I thought about edge case. You already thought about the corner case when two problems collide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see how what it will
Honking?
suggest. Also about hallucination. So well, something is wrong here. I sometimes don't see my previous messages. I need to reload. This is probably a bug of Cloud Code in browser. Uh, yeah, something with WebSockets, I guess. Yeah. So I just want okay, two things. Two things.
Yeah, in that merge.
How can you prove that what you're showing is not hallucinated but taken from actual result of building the docs? And second, show us edge case, corner case when two plus params have same type. Okay, we will see. So patch applied successfully. Good. What I wanted to do is to teleport to my machine. Okay, git checkout master, right? Okay, cloud. Oh, it's already cloud. Okay, git pull.
So your prompt has the get status, the get release information in your actual prompt on your shell.
Oh, it's a ZSH.
Postgres
Yeah.
master
It's just
too.
ZSH. It's just, well, just ZSH does. I think maybe with some profile, I don't remember honestly. So what I'm doing right now, I'm teleporting this session from browser to here. Let's try it if it will work. Should work. Because I just wanted to show you this great feature, you can start. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, this is checkout of wrong. Okay, I don't care about this checkout. It will take time to check out the yeah, Postgres code base is
Oh,
huge.
so that was gonna take your code base if it matched, and it was gonna teleport and
Teleport the
reference
session to my machine.
the session that you were working
Yeah,
on the browser to your machine
yeah.
relative to this code base.
Yeah, and because
Oh.
here in browser, this is good if you want to start it, for example, from phone. You're on a beach, so very bored. Like you think, okay, I have an idea to check in Postgres. You start there, then you come home. It cannot run, for example, Docker containers or something like more complex stuff. Or you want to see it with your something. So
Okay. I feel compelled to make this comment to the normies that are listening that you don't have to be bored at the beach to be a good hacker. That's just, certain people in this group are maybe a little bit more addicted to their technology than they should be.
yeah,
But
okay, you are bored watching some baseball game because you don't understand it.
right, yeah. Then that'll be me.
Okay. Yeah, it will take time. It's huge code base, right? Okay,
What
this
about
guy.
patch review? So
Yeah,
it
let's
has to
see.
be based.
You see, I was bottleneck. I needed to say yes.
This
Don't
is
ask me. Implement the whole plan. Okay. This, I hope it will stop asking questions.
oh, you got to scroll up. You hit the word where it's saying it's imagining. Like, okay, I'm glad you're admitting you're imagining, but can you tell me the difference between hallucinating and imagining? Because
Yeah.
they're very similar to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we already had ideas implemented. I have actual patch pending. I need to check it because I should finish it when hallucinations led to ideas of some features, right?
I will tell you, I think that that is one benefit of the hallucination, because what it does is it seems to use a parallel structure construct. Like if it sees a certain pattern and sees a certain pattern, it starts predicting that this command also should have this pattern. And
Yeah.
in some cases, it finds glaring holes, things that are missing. My example is Siege 2 that stress tests as a web page. It's missing an E reporting, a /E option to tell you a breakdown of the counts of the different error types. Very different if you're getting 404s than if you're getting 503s or, whatever. So knowing them
Yeah.
would be nice.
What is Conda? What
Conda,
is
that's for Python. That's
Oh, okay, okay. So I think I realize that if you want to be closer to code, you won't like this approach because you yeah, you in the process you don't look to code too much here. And it depends. Yeah. At the same time, in Cursor, I'm lost sometimes because I have many open tabs and what it's doing where it's like you need to pause and think. Here we have one flow, and you see if you start changing code, you see diffs right away. So I don't know. I'm more I prefer console and like terminal instead of UI, right? Web UI. Oh no, GUI. So
instead of the GUI. Yeah.
instead of IDE. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay. It will take time, yeah, to understand what's it likes.
Fighting with apt. It just
Yes.
need apt
Yes.
install
That's
flex,
that's why I
and
was thinking to go here and do everything in here,
can we just say sudo apt install guys on flex?
somewhere else in the system. Go to another command prompt, sudo apt
What
install, get
else?
it done. Okay, there you go.
Oh, I can send you the whole thing. Actually, maybe it's a bit superfluous, but I do it like this. I
On
tried
Mac.
to no, on
No, on
Linux.
Linux.
I was doing my build farm animal and
Mm-hmm.
building with all the libraries,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff, and I iterated, install this, install that, and finally I installed all possible dependencies.
I'm going to
Like
paste
Python
your command into the YouTube channel. So just in case somebody
makes
likes that.
sense.
Yeah, I acknowledged it's from you. Oh, you're gonna love that. It's too big by a handful of words. Ha ha ha.
You can actually remove CMake out of it's not necessary. And probably Git is already installed too.
Yeah. Git is definitely installed, but now
Yeah, that's
building.
fine. I sent it in two.
Meanwhile, almost fetched. I have some slow internet. Starlink is currently working. Why it's so slow?
Is it your actual machine or is it in cloud?
It's my no. This is just temporary machine which Anthropic gives you here. It's not my machine at all. But once I teleport, I will go here. It's Mac actually, right? So we will need to do it in different way.
Like
It's
brew
typically.
install all the same stuff.
Yeah, but I'm wondering why it's so slowly fetching here. Okay. So should we teleport or no? Because
Well, were we crossing into the time frame here at this point?
yeah,
Um, I think we've crossed pretty far. I like the teleport command. I think that's a takeaway that that's worth sharing. Um,
yeah, and it works
Maybe.
both ways. It works both ways. Let's try by the
Oh,
way. Yeah, cloud. I've heard, right? Okay, so let's, for example, find latest commit. Just something simple and fast, and then we will try to teleport it back to browser. Also, I'm going to check if it's okay. And then I've heard you can do this. Will it work? Should it work? Or will teleport? No, yeah. Anyway, I've heard, yeah, can you teleport to web? Like this, I don't know, like this command didn't work. No, but yeah. Never went this way. I went only that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've heard from Boris, who is developing Cloud Code, the main developer, he said it works both ways.
Well, could you just now, if the name that it gave you matches up to session underscore and that value for the B8CC, kind of thing, if you found out its number, how it coded it, then you should be able to,
Yeah. Well,
because you could URL it.
yeah, it's just I wanted to test something. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. Like so let's maybe wrap it up. I will send you the result of this. It will take, I guess, 10 plus minutes because you see this is a lot. Unfortunately, there's
Actually,
no.
I see it's struggling with the change in this month. The way how we store Gooks changed. That's why it's still working on rebasing and building after that rebase. It would take time for me too because like it's adapting to new style.
You know what? Like in this case, let me go here then, and I definitely want to do this, and from there I will. Yeah, let's see if this teleport from my machine works. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say build again because we are on Mac, and then I will tell it what you just told, that system changed and you need to inspect all the latest commits to understand it, and then to adjust, and then proceed with our plan.
No need to inspect all the latest commits. You need to just say that Gax live now in some file. I don't remember how it's called.
Wow. Had I known this, that would have made a perfect small session. Use the AI to rebase the code to handle the guck problem and re-push it back into the.
Oh yeah, it helped with all patches, right?
Right.
Verified somehow really well, so nothing like okay.
Yeah, and then rebase the code for the Gawk, test it, make sure, and then push it back up so that it's easier to use. The more recent version.
Hey, does this look correct to you?
Just a moment.
Okay.
Show it this file.
Okay.
Yeah, it just say that it's generated, and there is notes how it's generated.
Look at which was generated. Pay attention to. I don't see my own. Why is it so?
Okay. Oh, I was wrong. It's not generated. It's a source which is used to generate Gax, to generate C code that it contains Gax.
Let's do this. I will need to. Oof! This is what happens sometimes, and it's not a problem. Just continue, because I exited and I just continue -C to the same session. Ooh, no, wrong session. Okay, I can teleport again, right? I have in clipboard what we wrote. So what I just wanted to do, you still remember our plan?
I like our plan B better.
The old approach criticized by Kirill Reshke. I noticed Drop Database still uses the old approach criticized by Kirill. Okay. Yes. Oh, already completed. hold on. I pressed escape to stop. Okay, then I want to do this. Let's do this. Do we have Ralph here? No. Do we have plugins here? And where is Ralph? No. Okay. Okay, without Ralph. I wanted to put it for like a big loop to polish fully until full completeness, but let's just do it in one shot. Okay, so it remembers our plan. The last thing, like, does this prompt look good for you, Andrei?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, let's just do it. And then I will ask it to provide some report of testing, and I will share it in our channel on Telegram, right? And we will see what's next with this patch to make
And
it
we
happen.
will post this review to hackers.
Well, this is up
If-
to
if-
you.
If it's
This we actually didn't discuss. I wanted, but we didn't. Like we should.
we
AI
will
should
remove
help.
positive feedback, leave only negative feedback.
Yes. This is
and
how it
post
works. Yeah. So, yeah, and review our feedback 10 times for hallucination. So different AI should double check that everything is correct. So what I wanted to say, we should think how not to annoy people additionally, right? Because
You're getting
I
prompted. You want to
okay.
proceed?
Yeah. This is not YOLO mode, not dangerously skip permissions mode, which I like actually, but okay. It will keep me asking. Good. This is why, by the way, I like a web version of Cloud Code. I don't think about permissions. This is sandbox machine. Do whatever. So, yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Anyway, it was fun. I will follow up with answers and reports. I hope somebody learned something. Join our Telegram session to continue. Yeah, we have a lot of entry points. For example, review Google Summer of Code ideas. Review if there is deadline. End of February is current commit festival, or end of January. How much
End
left?
of January.
End of January. 2 weeks left
But
only.
a real deadline is feature free in April.
Right. But okay. Anyway, current Commit Fest is marked as final, and it's end of January, so only 2 weeks left to do something, right? But reviews, yeah. Anyway, Google Summer of Code, patch reviews, and also I have a list of wait event gaps. If somebody wants to improve the system of wait events, it's in our Telegram channel mentioned.